Okay, go ahead. Continue.
No, the LC is established as soon as you sign the contract. You establish the LC, and that becomes the security comfort for the supplier to invest money. Yes.
For every example.
Yes.
We have to pay for that. It's not a contract for every example. So under this main contract, it's like the main contract.
The main contract and LC for every 50 of the 200. You can say that contract is not saying that government should establish one LC which is 15.8 million euros for the whole 200 as a whole. No. Government has a bond contract of 15.8 million euros. Now, this contract will become, ambulances will come in tranches of 50 ambulances. So you will establish your LC for the 50. When that 50 has been delivered and everything sorted out and handed over, and the LC is established for another subsequent 50 until you finish all the 200. That is what the contract says. So the LC that was established. Okay, what happened? Yes. That particular place, you are getting this wrong. If I will have patience for me to explain, you are getting it wrong there, of course. When you establish LC, the LC had conditions precedents for it to be honored. And the condition precedent says that you can only pass the LC when you present shipping documents, which is bill of lading, to the Ghana International Bank of the buyer. Before the LC can be honored. So even though the LC was established upon the signing of the contract, was supposed to be established upon the signing of the contract, it cannot be cashed or honored. It becomes a form of security for the supplier to invest his own money. And when it ships the ambulances, you can then send a bill of lading to your bankers, to then honor the LC, because that is the condition precedent. No. He couldn't have. There's no way under the sun. He could have cashed the LC before the shipping document, which was condition precedent, was presented to the Ghana International Bank. Even when he presented the document to Ghana International Bank, Ghana International Bank refused to honor the LC, raising issues of discrepancy. We came back to the Bank of Ghana, which later went to the Ministry of Health, and then Anibana authorized Bank of Ghana through Ministry of Finance to pay because he had sorted out the discrepancy to 50. That time around this time, or the ambulance had already arrived in Ghana. You may not bring it to this one.
In my view, if we are eating it's also for the
No, I agree with you. The way you want to go about it.
Did you hear that? Yes. He said, if you agree to this deal, where the witness agrees with Godfred Odame the way he wants to go about the case, then the witness will have no case. There will be no difficulty for him. So listen to that part there.
I want to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest? No. Go back. I hope you get that because I'm innocent and I'm going through update. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through update and through me because I know the truth and I decided to say it. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest because I know that is not how it's supposed to be and how you want me to go on and answering questions. That can around this time or the ambulance I told you that I have you may not bring it to this one. No, I agree with you. The way you want to go about it. which department payroll the contract and approve the contract for government?
It is not a problem. We have to approve every contract that we approve for later when the progress.
You see, what the difficulty I have with your position is that, you see, frankly speaking, as you are saying, if I agree to your position, how you want to go about it and how you want me to go about my answering questions and things. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I will be dishonest because I know that is not how it's supposed to be.
No, continue. You heard him. This is the facts, but you want me to go about it your way. And I feel that if I go about it your way, I'll be dishonest. Continue.
If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I'll be dishonest because I know that is not how it's supposed to be. And I'll be dishonest, and I'll be dishonest in such a way that I'll be assisting for someone I know is completely innocent about this. For example, to be jailed because I knew something was wrong, was not the way, and I decided to keep quiet and to answer the question in a way that will make your case better for you to jail him. I'll be battling with my conscience. Anytime you bring this issue, that is my problem I'm having.
No, go back.
Because me, for example, that's the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue, me to go about my answering questions and things. If I go by that way, frankly speaking, I will be dishonest because I know that is not how it's supposed to be. And I'll be dishonest, and I'll be dishonest in such a way that I'll be assisting for someone I know is completely innocent about this. For example, to be jailed because I knew something was wrong, was not the way, and I decided to keep quiet and to answer the question in a way that will make your case better for you to jail him. I'll be battling with my conscience. That is the problem I'm having. Anytime you bring up this issue with your anyone going to this place, anytime you bring this issue. Because me, for example, I am in this case because I'm innocent and I'm going through ordeal. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through ordeal and through me because I know the truth and I decide not to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest in it?
I'm not asking you to I'm just go by it. So anyway, so that's fine. So this one continue just like me.
I hope you get that.
It's on the phone. I don't know that.
Oh no.
It's on the phone. He doesn't know who is recording. Please. Order. Please, let's listen to the tape, please. I beg you.
You and I will be meeting. You'll be meeting me at my cousin's place, and you'll be bringing this issue up several times. And I keep telling you that I can't do that because I can't say
this is the man who says he has never met the witness. Continue.
Yeah. It's for every. So when you see that for every 50 ambulance means that it's not only 50. For every, it means that it is not only 50. Means that there are a lot of 50s that will be following. So that is what I was trying to explain to you. So frankly speaking, the LC that was established was as a security for the supplier to invest his own money since there's no advantage.
Yes, the same that of this because he was doing alternative and agreement.
Yes. When the conditions precedents are met. Yes. The bill of ladings, the ambulance have been shipped, and the bill of ladings are presented. That is when you can cash the LC. So until you ship the ambulance, you can't cash the ambulance. You can't cash the LC.
Okay. And was that in this case also?
Yes, in this case, yes. When he issued the ambulances, he then presented their documents to the International Bank. And then the International Bank refused to honor the LC and raised issues of discrepancies, which was later cleared by Ali Manak at the Ministry of Health for payment to proceed. And that is how it was paid. So, in frankly speaking, if there's somebody who authorized this payment to go on, even though International Bank raised issues of discrepancies, it's Ali Manak. He was authorizing these payments.
But if you go to the bank official and the bishop, giving certificate, see that documents are good, except with use of authorization. There's no way use of authorization. Bishop actually to give a letter, he said to be sure to this application.
No, after that letter that ITA wrote that they should suspend production dosing was contrary to the terms of the contract. And that letter went to your office, the AG's office, and the AG debunked that letter and wrote his legal opinion and told her that they should proceed. So AG, that letter has been destroyed by your department, by your ministry. So that letter is of no value. It is the AG's legal opinion that overrode that letter. And Minister of Finance had to implement the AG's opinion.
Yeah, and by the AG's legal opinion, the terms of contract should be honored.
Yes.
The terms of contract was breached.
And because they were already breached, and the AG wanted them to honor it. So that Shania's letter that you want to rely on is of no value. The ministry. Yeah, they still didn't honor some part of the contract. They honored the LC part, but when it came to the pre-shipment inspection, they refused to honor that particular part.
Okay.
So they went their right to go and inspect, and then they turned around and blame people for you not going to inspect to rectify any manufacturing defect that the pre-shipment inspection was meant to kill. So Shaniate, through her negligence and refusal to implement the pre-shipment inspection, created this problem. That's what I was trying to say.
We have my timetable for the rest of the day.
That means that you are not going to be around.
So, and then we even next to your next week, here's a way of even finishing next week. How would that be?
I will not finish next week. I don't think I will. But the documents are here. So you should go and come and meet me. But that will also depend upon the judge's behavior.
I'm doing on the next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, fine. If you bring the medical excuse this week.
I think you.
I bring the medical excuse next week.
Yeah, now.
You want this one to issue benchmark for me again?
You see, Attorney General asking the witness who is fit, who is not sick, to produce medical excuse duty to go and mislead the court. You see where we are now. Minister of Justice asking somebody who is not sick to go and forge a medical excuse duty to go and mislead the court. Please continue. Tape. Gramophone. Continue. You have any. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I don't know whether I should continue talking again. The recording you just heard is one that is worrying, and all Ghanaians must be concerned about it. This is a scandal of unimaginable proportions that seriously exposes the criminal mindedness and lack of integrity of the Attorney General, my brother, Godfrey. Yeah. Oh, if I have a criminal brother, it doesn't mean I'm a criminal. It also highlights the dishonesty of the prosecution in the ambulance trial and the desperate lengths they are prepared to go to secure wrongful conviction against Honorable Ato Forsen at all costs. Clearly, Mr. Dame, who as Attorney General ought to know better, was doing everything he could, including criminal acts, to defeat the long-cherished legal principle that it is better to set 1,000 guilty people free than to convict one innocent person. Again, this recording confirms our long-held position on Godfrey Dame's notoriety for judicial manipulations against opponents of the Akufo-Addo regime. After many years of getting away with his shady, crooked, and underhand dealings, Godfrey Dame's cup has become full. And his day of reckoning has finally arrived. Today, Godfrey Dame stands exposed as an unethical, scheming, and devious Attorney General who will go to whatever lengths, including engaging in criminality, to unjustly silence, persecute, and imprison critics of his government. Dame is clearly a devious character, bereft of integrity, honor, and unfit to occupy the high and hallowed public office of Attorney General. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, why should we be concerned about this tape recording at all? As I have already intimated, this tape recording captures professional misconduct, unethical behavior, and criminal conduct on the part of no less a person than the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Godfrey Dame. This conduct of Attorney General Godfrey Dame offends Rule 13, 40, and 54 of the Legal Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules, quote unquote, LI 2324. I'm not a lawyer, but all these things were passed through Parliament. So if I'm quoting them, I'm not talking court matter. I'm talking about the laws we pass. The laws we pass in Parliament. Rule 13 of LI 2324, which is on communication with represented party. Communications with represented party. If there's a court case and somebody is represented by a lawyer, if another party is talking to that person, he must talk to him in the presence of his lawyer or through his lawyer. The law we pass, is that not what they mean? Yeah, or with his consent. And it states, quote, a lawyer shall not approach, communicate, or deal with a represented person on a matter or attempt to negotiate or compromise a matter directly with a represented person except through or with the consent of the lawyer of that represented person. Black and white, that is the law. At the time that Mr. Godfrey Dame was calling and meeting Richard Jakpa at odd hours to urge, goad, impress upon, and coach him to testify the Attorney General's way, Mr. Jakpa was represented by a lawyer. They claim that the Attorney General has been engaging the third accused directly because he has been changing lawyers frequently is totally false. For instance, at the time Godfrey Dame engaged the third accused, Richard Jakpa, in the phone call conversation that we just played to you on 9th April 2024, the third accused was represented by the distinguished lawyer Thaddeus Sorry. It is clear from the tape recording that Godfrey Dame was communicating with the third accused, Richard Jakpa, on the blind side of his lawyer as well as the court, and he was attempting to compromise Jakpa in order to wrongfully convict Dr. Atufosin. This is a cardinal sin against the legal profession. Quote, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules. That is contained in LI 2324. Again, Rule 41 of LI, the same LI 2324, which highlights special responsibilities of a prosecutor states. Quote, where a lawyer acts as a prosecutor, in this case, where Godfrey Dame acts as a prosecutor, the lawyer shall act resolutely and honorably within the limits of the law, and shall treat the court or tribunal with candor, fairness, courtesy, and respect. Unquote. It is clear from this tape that Godfrey Dame's conduct violates Rule 41 of LI 2023. He consciously, deliberately, and knowingly did not act resolutely nor honorably. Neither did Dame treat the court with candor, fairness, and respect that all lawyers, and in this particular case, prosecutors, are required by law to do. The standard of integrity of evidence is also provided for by Rule 54 of LI 2324, and it states, I beg to quote, Rule 54(1), a lawyer shall not advise or suggest to a witness to give false evidence. So a lawyer shall not advise a healthy person to procure excuse duty from fraudulently to come and mislead the court. 2, a lawyer shall not suggest, A or B, condone a client or another person suggesting to a prospective witness the content of any particular evidence which the witness should give at any stage in the proceeding. You heard him suggesting to the witness how he should talk, how he should answer questions so they can jail Atufosin and he will be free. This is the duty placed by law on all lawyers, including the Attorney General. Godfrey Dame, by his conduct, which are captured on this tape, clearly violates this duty and place this duty placed on him as a lawyer. Again, Godfrey Dame's conduct violates Section 315 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29, which is on fabrication of evidence, and states as follows. Whoever fabricates evidence with the intent to defeat, obstruct, or pervert the course of justice in any proceeding shall be liable to the same penalties as if he had committed perjury in that proceeding. It is clear from the tape recording that Mr. Dame was urging, goading, and encouraging the third accused to fabricate evidence in the form of a fake medical excuse duty to deceive the trial court. Ladies and gentlemen, we now get to false entrapment excuse that Godfrey Odami seems to be relying on. We note that following Mr. Richard Jakpa's explosive testimony last Thursday and the widespread controversy it has generated, Godfrey Odami has resorted to peddling more lies in an attempt to escape accountability. The thing about lies is that when you tell one, every lie you tell, you need 10 more lies to defend. So it grows exponentially. First, the Attorney General publicly stated at paragraph 2 of his press release of 23rd May 2024 that, quote, "The Republic has never required or desired the cooperation of any of the accused persons in the matter in which it has already succeeded in establishing a prima facie case against all the accused persons. Neither the Attorney General nor any officer from the Office of the Attorney General has approached any of the accused persons with a view to obtaining evidence from them." Have you heard it? In spite of all this that he has said, he has cleaned the mouth and is telling the public that he has never engaged anybody on this matter at all. It is glaringly clear from the tape recording you just listened to that this claim is a barefaced lie peddled by the dishonorable Attorney General and his office to deceive the public. In sharp contrast to this, to his earlier claim that he has never met any of the accused persons, the Attorney General now claims that he has actually contacted and met the third accused, Richard Jakpa, but that he met him only once at the residence of a Supreme Court judge, and that this meeting was not at his behest, but rather at the behest of a sitting Supreme Court judge who entrapped him. He now wants to extend the lie to a Supreme Court judge. Ladies and gentlemen, all these claims by the Attorney General through his spokesperson are lies, and we have evidence to prove so. In addition to the voice recordings, we have other evidence by way of screenshots of chats on WhatsApp between Godfrey Odami and Mr. Jakpa, which further proved that the Attorney General contacted and represented a represented person without recourse to the represented person's lawyer. The charts further show that it was Godfrey Odami who chose to meet Richard Jakpa at the house of the Supreme Court judge, and not the Supreme Court judge who invited them. The first one.
The date, 16 February.
16 February 2022. 16 February 2022. From Richard Jakpa. I'm humbly requesting for a time and venue at your convenience to meet you for a private discussion, please. Then, I'm most grateful for that kind gesture from you. Then, hope to hear favorably from you.
Next.
This is all from Richard Jakpa. Then you come down here. That is from Godfrey. That is the Supreme Court judge. So Godfrey Odami says he will arrange through the Supreme Court judge for them to meet. So the Supreme Court judge has not requested for any meeting in his house. It's Godfrey Odami who arranged the meeting. Then he said, okay.
Yeah, so no, hold on.
Yeah.
Go back. So as back.
The chart show it was Godfrey Dame who chose to meet Richard Jakpa at the house of the Supreme Court judge. As you can see from this screen, this is a WhatsApp chat dated 16 February 2022, in which Godfrey Dame undertakes to arrange a meeting with Mr. Jakpa through his brother, actually his cousin, the Supreme Court judge, through a WhatsApp message sent at 7:32 p.m. This evidence totally belies Dame's contrived and ridiculous claim that he was entrapped. So he was not entrapped. He planned to use the Supreme Court judge to call the witness for whatever they wanted to set up. The next set of WhatsApp chats WhatsApp exhibits 2, 3, and 4. Dated 17 July 2022. Shows Godfrey Dame receiving certain soft copies of documents from Mr. Richard Jakpa to facilitate his prosecution of the minority leader at 11:29 p.m. Close to midnight. So if you hear Richard Jakpa saying odd and unholy hours and times, this is what he was referring to. This was immediately after the Attorney General had met Mr. Jakpa at the residence of the Supreme Court judge at the instance of the Attorney General. So these are documents which the Jakpa forwarded to Godfrey Dame after that meeting. I want to jail somebody. I don't have the documents. Can you help me? If you help me, I will free you. Then we can use the document. And you got all these documents. And still the document could not incriminate anybody. And now you want him to lie on top of the document. So these are documents. And in the next WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp Exhibit 5, dated 23rd November 2023, Godfrey Dame is seen to have placed a call at 10:40 a.m. to Richard Jakpa and followed it with a message at 10:49, acknowledging a message sent to him by Mr. Jakpa that the case had been adjourned to Thursday the following week. Bro, the case is adjourned to next week Thursday. The man is still on admission fighting for his dear life. Then Godfrey Dame, okay, thanks. The final WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp Exhibit 6, dated Tuesday, 9th April 2024, shows evidence of a 26-minute phone call placed to Richard Jakpa by Godfrey Dame at 7:12 a.m. The morning of the day Jakpa was scheduled to testify in the court. The recorded one, we played for you. It was the morning Jakpa was going to court to testify. And he was saying that today, if you go, tell them this. Letters of credit means cash payment. Letters of this means this. So go and tell them. But we don't have our own finance system in Ghana, which is different from the finance system everybody knows all over the world. How can you say that letters of credit is just cash payment? Somebody has taken the money without delivery, of course. And he was pushing him. And the man says, I have my conscience. I can't do it because I am being prosecuted by some lies somebody has told about me. So why do you want me to lie for another person to also prosecute? when I'm feeling the pinch of how lies can be used to create a problem for you. So I'm not going to do it. You see, it is this telephone conversation that we have played to you, and it was in this conversation that Godfrey Dame, among others, asked Jakpa to fabricate a fake medical excuse duty to deceive the trial court. That's the claim by the dishonorable Attorney General Godfrey Dame, that he only met the third accused person once, and that same was true entrapment by a Supreme Court judge, is not only false but hogwash. You now agree? Ladies and gentlemen, following Mr. Jakpa's explosive testimony in court, and now I'm going to talk about the contrived plea bargain which Godfrey Dame is using as a reason for their meeting and all that. The Attorney General has falsely claimed through his spokesperson and various assigns that his engagement with the third accused was for purposes of plea bargaining negotiations at the instance of the third accused. We want to state for the records that there has not been any plea bargain meetings between the Attorney General and the third accused throughout this trial. All the letters being circulated by the Attorney General in the media dated 27th April 2023, 16th May 2023, 30th May 2023, and 12th June 2023 were proposals for amicable settlement and plea bargaining from Deep Sea LLC and Mr. Jakpa. All these proposals were rejected by the Attorney General, whereupon the trial court decided to continue with the hearing and adjudication of this case. Since then, the court has not been informed of the commencement of any plea bargain negotiations as required by Section 162C, Sub 3 of Plea Bargaining Act 2022, Act 1079. For emphasis, aside the letter submitted by Mr. Jakpa to the Attorney General for settlement or plea bargaining, which proposals were all rejected by the Attorney General, there has not been any meeting between either Mr. Jakpa or his lawyers on the one hand and Attorney General or his assigns on the other hand. It is worthy of note that all those letters were signed by lawyers of Mr. Jakpa. This means that, assuming the Attorney General had accepted to engage the third accused in plea bargaining negotiations, same should have been done with the lawyers of the third accused as required by Section 162A(3) of Plea Bargaining Act 2022, Act 1079. More importantly, the evidence of clandestine communication and meetings between Attorney General and third accused, which we have shown you, dates back as far as 16th February 2022, 17th July 2022, when no settlement or plea bargaining proposals have even been made by Big C and Mr. Jakpa. All this communication, telephone calls, WhatsApp chats, and all that, they all happened in 2022. And you are flaunting letters you claim were issued in 2023 as the reason why you were calling. So, it is neither here nor there. We have also played to you a recording of a phone call conversation held between the Attorney General and Mr. Jakpa as recently as 9th April 2024, a day Mr. Jakpa was scheduled to testify in court. it is evidently clear from the foregoing facts that the plea bargaining excuse being mounted by the Attorney General and his assigns are palpable lies calculated to divert attention from the critical issues at stake. The question every well-meaning Ghanaian should be asking is, why the Attorney General will refuse a proposal to settle this case, which will ensure the payment of 2 million euros to the state at a time our country is faced with economic bankruptcy. There was no wrongdoing on the part of anybody. Then somebody says he's sensitive about his company's reputation and so on, so he's prepared to pay 2 million euros to Ghana. I'm saying no. If I take it, Atufosi will not go to jail. So let that 2 million go waste, and I find way of contriving evidence to get Atufosi nailed. These are the statesmen we have. Ladies and gentlemen, considering the scandalous nature of this recording and other forms of evidence we have shown you, we wish to make the following pressing demands as part of efforts to restore credibility to the Attorney General's office and Ghana's judicial system as a whole. 1. The immediate and unconditional resignation or dismissal of Godfrey Dame for bringing the high office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice into disrepute and public opprobrium. Clearly, Mr. Dame is not fit to hold himself out as Attorney General and Minister of Justice. He is unfit to be the leader of the Ghana's bar. 2. The immediate prosecution of Godfrey Dame for multiple violations of the laws of Ghana. We wish to make it clear that should President Akufo-Addo refuse or fail to prosecute him, a future NDC government will prosecute Godfrey Dame for this heinous crime of fabrication of evidence. 3. Commencement of disciplinary proceedings by the General Legal Counsel against Godfrey Dame and his disbarment for conduct unbecoming of a lawyer, and more importantly, the leader of the Ghana Bar. 4. A publicly televised parliamentary inquiry into this and other reports of judicial manipulations by Godfrey Dame with a view to censor Godfrey Dame to prevent the recurrence of such judicial manipulations. In conclusion, friends from the media, it is clear from the incontrovertible evidence we have adduced today that the government has no evidence of wrongdoing against the minority leader, but is only involved in fabrications to persecute him as retribution for his strong opposition to the economic mismanagement and general misrule of the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. These damning revelations call into question the integrity of the case of the prosecution in the ongoing ambulance trial and the necessity for sale. Godfrey Dame has brought shame and disrepute to the honorable office of the Attorney General with his criminal, devious, and vicious conduct. He is a danger to fairness and justice in our judicial system and represents the lowest point in the history of persons who have occupied the hallowed office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice. While we have pointed out many times that Godfrey Dame epitomizes all that is inherently wrong, investing both the office of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice in the same person, we believe that he has recklessly abused both offices and his continuous stay in office is no longer tenable. The primary responsibility of the Attorney General is to be the voice of rule of law, ensure the impartial enforcement of law, and advise the President and government to take actions that conform to law. More importantly, an Attorney General must be a shining example and a leading light for the bar, not a criminal-minded, crooked, devious, and vicious person who is preoccupied with witch hunting and victimization, as has become the cup of tea of Honorable or Dishonorable Godfrey Dame. You can make your choice. Mr. Dame has demonstrated time without number that he cannot prioritize the national interest over his party's parochial and self-serving interests. He must therefore resign or be sacked by the President without delay. Thank you very much, and may God bless our homeland.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, you can all resume your seats. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can all resume your seats. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we promised you that we were going to adduce shocking and incontrovertible evidence to prove the unprofessional and criminal conduct of the Dishonorable Godfrey Dame in the ongoing Atto-Forsen trial. And I believe you will agree with me that we have done just that. Not only have we given you an audio recording, we've also shown you WhatsApp chats. And I need to put on record that we have many audio recordings. This is just one. We don't want to confuse you. We don't want to overload you with evidence and information. And as the conversation ensues, you are going to hear from us again. So this is a very serious matter, and it is our hope that you, our friends in the media, the fourth estate of the realm, will treat it with the necessary seriousness and urgency. Now, at this stage, we will not be able to do any presentation in the Akan language because we don't have time, but later we will avail ourselves to speak to all the Akan stations. I would want to find out from the media men present here, just the media men present here. Do you have questions for General Mosquito, or this is self-explanatory? Good. Yeah. So, General, I think you've done justice to the issue.
Clap for me then.
You've done justice to the issue. So we are going to share the script with you, and we are going to share with you the full tape, the full 60 minutes, 5 seconds tape. 16 minutes, 5 seconds tape. We're also going to share with you all the screenshots. And so just look at the evidence, evaluate the evidence, make an informed choice as a discerning Ghanaian, as a journalist, and speak up on this matter. Let's ensure that justice is done. Some have suggested that we are trying to get the state to free Honorable Atto-Forsen. No. Nobody has called for, nobody has called for a discontinuation of any case. If the state still believes that they have a good case, looking at all this mess, to prosecute, they can. But we are saying that Godfrey Dame is not the only person who can be an Attorney General and prosecute that case if at all there is a case to prosecute. He must go, and all voices of conscience, including MPP members, must join us in this call, because it's about the sanctity of that important office of Attorney General and Minister of Justice. When we had these distinguished personalities in that office, we never heard anything like this. This is the first time that office has been brought into public disrepute and opprobrium in this manner, and we are demanding for action. Thank you very much. We will see you before you go. The hashtag is that Dame must go now. And this is not about insults, this is not about rumor mongering, this is about evidence. This is our tape. If you doubt it, bring your tape. We've shown you WhatsApp messages. If you doubt it, bring your evidence, and we are ready to engage in that informed discussion on this matter. Thank you very much for coming.